Welcome back to another installment of Professor Charles S. Live. Shoo-be-doo-doo-doo. Oh, yeah. Welcome back to another installment of Professor Charles S. Live. And today we got an episode review. Yes, one of my favorite shows has finally returned. I got notified yesterday, Black Lightning. And today's episode is going to be Book of Reconstruction, the review, my overall review on the episode. Let's get this party started. So let's talk about this episode. So the first thing I noticed with this episode, we see Jefferson in the graveyard, paying visit to a friend, a very dear friend to his heart, like another brother to him. Henderson. We know in last season, Henderson got killed in a crossfire trying to help Jefferson when he was Black Lightning. And we see Jefferson talking to his father, like his father's there saying, hey, look, you know, he was a fighter when he was alive. And, you know, that's was his duty for the city of Freeland, which they live in. And we see Jefferson being conflicted. There are also some other issues. We see Jefferson being a little, the family kind of broke away from one another to some extent. We see Jefferson kind of leaning towards alcohol, drinking his problems away. Losing a best friend is never easy, but we see him going down a darker path in this season. We see him stop two police officers harassing a black kid. We already know that Black Lightning kind of gives a political thing what's going on right now. It's one of those type of shows. And we see Jefferson not thinking logically, using his powers to, you know, stop the police officers. He didn't kill them. He did, mess them up where they were in, you know, in the hospital and everything. And the thing is, Jefferson's not wearing the suit. He looks like a civilian. And I love Gamby. Gamby comes in like a father figure. You know, when Jefferson's drinking his life away, he said, Gamby, like, hey, I lost people too, you know. And Gamby, I'm sure he has lost people. Being in the ISA, the organization that Gamby's a part of, you know, Gamby probably has lost people. I love Gamby plays like the father figure, kind of Alfred to Jefferson in that way. We also see Gamby, a potential love interest, someone from the past that was a part of ISA, tried to reassure Gamby that Freeland's going to be better. And Gamby's like, so, oh, you guys are going to clean up the name that you're not assassins, right? So that's one thing we see with Gamby. Also, we see a problem. Tobias is back. Everyone is shocked that literally Tobias is back. I'm like, bro, like, he escaped. He didn't die. He escaped. You know what I'm saying? And Tobias got this new squeaky clean image that he's a philanthropist. He's like, hey, look, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to sponsor. I'm going to help the city of Freeland. You know, he's got this goody two-shoe act going on. And you kind of know you like, Tobias, we know you on some yes. All together, you're just like, really, bruh? Really? You a philanthropist? Really? So it's kind of funny that you see Tobias, you know, turn over a new leaf this season, which I thought was really neat. Also, we see in this episode that Jefferson and his wife, Mrs. Jefferson, going to therapy, a black family going to therapy. It was interesting, you know, husband and wife, I should say. And you can see that Jefferson, is a little too unattached to his wife, and they're not really seeing eye to eye with one another. But also, this therapist was asking what's going on, and, you know, and they're honest with one another, and Jefferson feels like he does not want to dress up and be Black Lightning. Also, I forgot to mention that when he talked to his father, he said, you know, Black Lightning's this, and I'm Jefferson. Like, he's kind of got like the Batman thing going on with Bruce Wayne. And you got Batman kind of thing, you know, like, hey, I do this when I'm this person. You know, I'm this when I'm that person. You know what I'm saying? That's my duty or sense of responsibility. We see that with Jefferson. Also, we see a problem. His wife is doing the same thing he's doing. She's stopping people from doing stuff to people. This lady almost got kidnapped. she gets into using her powers, because we know last season she ends up getting powers, and she is able to use other Meta's powers, like she's using Jefferson's great-grandfather's power, Gravedigger's powers, but somehow it seems to be enhancing herself, like she's able to control people's mind a little bit more, as much as she did last season. So that's the other thing we see this season. Also, Henderson left Jefferson in good hands. That's something that, he has a new person that may be able to, he could talk to or confide in. And I think that was really neat of Henderson to know eventually if something like that was to come to happen, if he was to die, that happened. It's like, wow, like he really prepped this. He had a letter and everything. And the guy Hassan, which is, that I guess is gonna be replacing Henderson, his best friend, it's a little bit on a, love-hate with Metas. He's not necessarily for the Metas. He's like, hey, the reason why he's not here is probably because of Black Lightning type of thing. And you can understand the love-hate relationship there. And maybe that takes time to build up. So hopefully Hassan eventually tries to trust Black Lightning. He actually has Henderson's phone. Because I thought Henderson phone, like, who got Henderson phone? I'm like, bruh, like, tell me something. You know what I'm saying? So Hassan was the one that had the phone and gave Jefferson the letter. Also in this episode, we see Lala has returned, and Lala is not happy that Tobias is alive. Yo, Lala is crazy, y'all. I'm like, bruh, like, my man, when he seen Tobias on the screen, he started shooting the screen, bop, 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 bop. I'm like, whoa, slow your roll, buddy. We know you want Tobias dead too. Also, we see a problem with the family, the Jefferson family as an entirety. And the problem is, each of the Jefferson family members, except for Jefferson himself, he's the only one that's never killed anyone. The other family members like, hey, look, we kill people, but we did that in self-defense. Because we know Anissa, also known as Thunder, has killed someone. Jennifer has killed someone. The mother has killed someone. And we can see there's a divide amongst the family. Jefferson's kind of like, hey, look, I'm not trying to do the whole killing thing, but Tobias is mine. The family is like, why can't we go after Tobias? We all, want a piece of Tobias. But the thing is, that leads to a problem because they're not seeing eye to eye with one another. And that's a huge problem because they're like, hey, he's done things to us, but we're not trying to, just go out and straight up kill him type of thing. And I'm like, wow. But we can see that Jefferson's angry when he sees Tobias on the TV. He's like, Tobias? I was like, oh my God. Also, we see Tobias make his move, man. Tobias is smooth, boy. I'm like, he wants Jefferson's wife. And I think it's kind of cool how he played it off. He's like, oh yeah, I'm the new sponsor. And I love how Tobias plays it off like he's never met the wife of Jefferson. I'm just like, bro, like, stop playing yourself, bro. We know you met her last season, talking about it's a pleasure to meet you and it'll be nice to see you more. So now she's a little paranoid because she knows that Tobias knows everyone's secret. Not just Jefferson's secret, her secret, the daughter's secret. Hey. And he can tell it anytime given, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think Tobias is that type of villain, you know what I'm saying? If that was the case, he would have kind of been did that when you really think about it. When he found out, he could have just been like, hey, this is so-and-so, this that person, that's that person. He's not that type of criminal. Tobias is a little bit more logical, and I like that about him. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to play chess with the heroes. But the thing is now, with Tobias being kind of the sponsor of her job, she's a little bit worried about that. Also, we see Jefferson finally coming to grips of Henderson, losing his best friend. That was like a brother. Also telling the wife that you weren't there when I lost my brother, my best friend. That's the other thing they talked about when they were in therapy, not just their relationship. And towards the end of this episode, we see Lala set up Thunder and Lightning, which was really interesting. You know, and Lala literally being a little angry that Tobias is still alive, but also he feels like one of his people. Lala feels like one of his people is a snitch or a traitor amongst his little crew that he has. And there's a problem. He has to find out who the snitch is. But also in this episode, we see Jefferson actually read the letter that Henderson sent and wrote to him. And that was really interesting. Also, the other problem with this episode, the person that took Henderson's role as an officer is now on Jefferson's case due to his being not responsible for his actions. He put himself out there. The 2 cops got injured. His license plate is out there partially. And the new person is like, hey, look, you know, we got this new rule. Every medic needs to check in type of thing. And you can see the look on Gabby's face. You can see the look on Jefferson's face. The white face. And they all look like a little displeased. Like, what? This is what y'all doing now? Henderson dead. Y'all got this new lady in his spot trying to, like, come in and nominate, you know. And Hassan is also under her. And Hassan knows something's up with Jefferson. Also, the new chief, because Henderson was the police chief. She knows something's up with Jefferson. She knows Jefferson's lying. So does Hassan. And now it's gonna look a little suspicious because if Jefferson's trying to build a relationship with Hassan, that Henderson left to kind of be the next person to, you know, be, I guess not necessarily caretaker, but the person that he can confide in with his secrets and all these different things, the trust is kind of broken, you know. So I really enjoyed this episode. You know, also we see the sisters kind of taking in for father since he's not there too, which was really interesting. The girls kind of doing their own thing. Also the wife. But I gotta say, there was one point in this episode that was a little bit, I kind of can see maybe they're about to write this person out soon. I think Lightning will be written out soon on this episode because she's not going to be in the whole season. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to spoil it, but I gotta be honest. She gets shot by one of Lala's men. And she's recovering, but literally you see her like literally up in the air, and then she's falling down. I was like, uh-oh. But this is my review on Black Lightning. Have you seen the latest episode of Black Lightning? You send me in the comments, guys. Your boy, Professor Charles, is live. Have a great day, guys, and I'm out.